Hey folks, and welcome to Drinking Alone with Friends, a podcast where three friends drink alone together. My name's Chris.
What up? It's Todd.
And I'm Obert. Happy St. Patrick's Day Eve, folks.
Oh, yes.
Hope you're all ready.
I thought we were going to go with the ever more celebrated happy 3 days before Chris's birthday, but you know.
Happy Chris's birthday Eve.
How do you say happy St. Patrick's Day in Irish?
Aaron go bragh, I think.
Aaron go bragh? Go
yeah,
Aaron bragh?
Yep, that's exactly what it means. Happy day after the Ides of March, all that stuff.
It's where we've sprung forward an hour for the final time ever.
Yeah, this is it. We're never going back.
This is it.
Only
that
forward.
hour of your life, you're never getting back like you do every other year.
Right. I heard that we're never doing it again.
I heard this too. Is this official?
They passed it like 2 years ago, so I think so.
Imagine instead of going back, we just keep going forward.
15 years from now, yeah, it's 3 a.m. We're eating lunch. Who knows?
I figured Obert would be more of the expert on this, but he appears just as shocked as Chris, so maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I haven't flipped my calendar to October yet. I'm curious what it says.
Oh, yeah. That'll be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Did it just take a couple of years for the calendars to get it right? Maybe.
No. Well, I think didn't they pass it in
They did. They passed the law, but then I heard that maybe they unpassed it somehow.
Listen. I don't want to get political, but can the frickin' government get one thing right and just let us have this? I want this. I don't ask for much.
Make every year 1 hour shorter to make Ted happy.
I just don't want to wake up in the dark anymore in the winter.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave in the dark.
What if instead they let us have the other one, the one that no one likes? It's just dark all the time.
We fall back. Yeah, daylight saving time revoked.
It would not shock me. You know what? I would expect that from the government.
Split the difference. Only 30 minutes now.
30 minutes. Yeah. But you get 30 minutes 4 times a year.
Every quarter.
We found this is the barreled souls approach to fixing daylight saving time.
Except for I don't know a single person who likes the fall back.
No, nobody likes fall back.
More sleep.
Somebody must.
Right?
More sleep.
Yeah, but you lose the sleep in the spring.
Yeah, I know, but you see that now you're focusing on to me, the spring is worse. I'm like, oh man, I only get 3 hours of sleep instead of 4.
The spring is worse for everybody. Historically, people, daylight savings day is historically the day with the highest amount of heart attacks, like in the hospitals. I don't know why that is. It's probably because you get an hour less of sleep, but it is the day statistically with the highest number of heart attacks in the U.S.
Huh. I figured it would be the other one because it's 25 hours. Just statistically, it just has more time to.
I wonder, so I think we're the only place in the world that does this. I think the other countries are like, you guys are nuts.
There are some states within the country that don't do it.
Arizona is like,
living that life.
Idaho doesn't do it.
Well, parts of Arizona. Like, I think like the Navajo reservation does do it. So like, I don't know. It's a confusing place out there. But listeners, I hope you're enjoying your life an hour ahead, maybe for the last time.
I'm hopeful. If I'm wrong, somebody write in and correct us. But I'm pretty sure it's not happening.
We'll figure it out by October. We'll know.
Yeah, but I want to know now. Because if not, I want to be happy come the 12th.
I think I owe it to our listeners to Google this. So, is daylight savings time ending?
Canceled.
Google didn't help me with the immediate first thing. So
I'm feeling lucky, right?
Yeah, I did. I'm not lucky, unfortunately.
They still have that button?
It's hard to get, I think. But
you have to be a Google Plus subscriber.
Oh, well, I guess I won't have that button anymore.
March 6th update. March 6th, 2023 update.
Oh.
Multiple so this is as of Monday when we're recording this, the day we're recording this. Multiple states' individual legislation to move to permanent daylight saving time stalled out when legislatures turned over. So seems like it's not going to be. This is not your year, Ted, but maybe next year.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah.
All right, I'm quitting. I'm never falling back again. I'm just letting you know. Anybody who wants to deal
You're going to
with me,
be like Kramer in that episode of
Yes.
the Seinfeld, who's just on its own time zone.
Yep. Anybody who wants to deal with me from now on, come October, I'm going full Kramer.
Okay. But yeah, maybe, who knows, by the time that it's St. Patrick's Day Eve, they might have passed laws that haven't happened way back in the past. So. I'm sure we've talked about this probably 3 or 4 times already, but do you guys celebrate St. Patrick's Day at all? Do you have plans to celebrate it this year?
I mean, we usually make a corned beef or do something.
It's a Friday this year, so that's something.
I mean, I know that I'm going to a party at Alvarium on Saturday. That's their, it's their St. Patrick's Day party.
So you are celebrating.
Kind of, yeah, I guess. I mean, they invited
You're
me
going
to
a party.
They
I don't know how
invited
much
me
more
to
you can
come
celebrate.
eat food, and I get free beer because I bought a $10 ticket. So
Interesting definition of free.
I get unlimited. I get unlimited beer pours because I bought a $10 ticket.
There you go. That's cool. Yeah, I have a case of Guinness I've slowly been working through. I do enjoy some Guinness this time of year. It's just like, it's really my spring seasonal beer. I'm not going to lie. Like, this is my end of winter beverage. It's like coming out of stout season.
Nope.
Like if the groundhog doesn't
It's
see
always
shadow,
stout season.
I start drinking Guinness, which is just a lighter stout.
So, speaking of stout season, I have another controversy to discuss, and this fits in perfectly with this. I know usually we'll talk about issues after we're done reviewing beers, but
this year you're more angry than thirsty.
well,
today,
it depends on
least.
how would you like to hold off until after the reviews, or you want me to do it now?
Go for it.
Okay. So there's this guy, hashtag always stout season. It's always stout season is a catchphrase and marketing gimmick, I guess, for lack of a better word.
You invented, right?
No, of a guy in Connecticut whose name is Tom M. That's what he goes by. That's what everybody knows him as. Apparently his name is too hard for normal people to pronounce, so he just does Tom M. It'd be like, Chris going by Chris A, because people can't pronounce his last name. So, Tom M. historically raises thousands, tens of thousands of dollars to donate to charity by doing beer raffles. So people donate $20 to buy five raffle tickets. He raffles off beer, stouts and different hard to get stouts a couple times a year. And he donates all the money to different charities. Usually there's always something towards Smilo Cancer Hospital at Yale, plus he always picks another charity. And it's just a really good way that he found a way to give back to the Connecticut community as a whole, through the beer community, which is great. He spent, tons of his own money. He's also, I'm sure he's gotten beers given to him by breweries and stuff to do this stuff with. But he has raised a significant amount of money. Most recently, like 2 weeks ago. Well, there's this massive Connecticut beer drinkers Facebook group called CT Beer Drinkers. I think that's, hang on, let me verify the name of the CT Beer Drinkers. Okay. And it is run by Mr. CT Beer, aka Kevin. So Kevin recently purchased somehow this Facebook group and brought in like a social media manager and a couple other admins, and basically kicked all the original people who founded the Facebook group out of moderator positions, and is requiring people to submit their posts, and they have to be reviewed before they're posted, and basically has ruined this entire community of Connecticut craft beer drinkers. Well, Tom, and by the way, the Facebook group is massive. It's like 15,000 people. So Tom spoke up and said, hey, why did you do this? And also, why are some of the mods not from Connecticut? Because they're posting beer from other states, like West Virginia, and saying, hey, he's like, this is a Connecticut beer drinkers group. Like, why are we posting? It'd be like Chris posting, oh, hey, cheers, here's Burial, but doing it consistently. And the person from West Virginia, she posted a beer from like a steakhouse, and it was like a Modelo. So she doesn't understand the whole idea of the Facebook group as a moderator. So he questioned it and then got banned from the Facebook group. So this happened on Saturday. So there was a massive backlash where all of the really active Connecticut beer drinkers have left CT Beer Drinkers and started up their own Facebook group called Beer Drinkers of CT.
And if there's one thing I know about you, Todd, is that you are an active beer drinker.
I am an active beer drinker. So this guy, Kevin, who has named himself Mr. CT Beer, name unearned. He owns, he's trying to monetize Connecticut beer in the wrong way by banning
The Facebook page.
But he also owns like beerfests.com and the other, like the Connecticut Beer Trail he bought, and he's basically trying to take over the Connecticut beer scene and banning, probably the most active charitable member, beer drinker in Connecticut. Tom M. And then he's also kicked out brewers from the Facebook group. So like anybody who owns a brewery basically has been removed from the Facebook group. It's very strange. So there's this uprising. So what I'm saying is that everybody who is part of Connecticut Beer Drinkers Group should join Beer Drinkers of Connecticut and basically fuck Kevin, which is eerily similar to a enemy of the pod, Blevin. So also this is just an insert to fuck Blevin as well.
Just because their names are similar.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
All right.
So this is the current Connecticut beer controversy.
Should we put a link in the show notes to Beer Drinkers of CT?
Sure.
Facebook page?
Of course.
We could do that. Then go there if you are post a nice picture of a Modelo from a steakhouse in
You can
Oregon.
post whatever you want as long as it's an open, so like there's no having to review posts and anything like that. It's back to what Connecticut Beer Drinkers used to be before it was monetized and bought and people were kicked out. Very strange. Very weird way of doing business to alienate your customers.
Yeah. It sounds like, I mean, it's weird because it sounds like it's not really a Facebook group. It's like, make it sound more like a company or like a different social media site altogether.
It is now. And, I can't even call him Mr. CT Beer because it's just so dumb. Kevin and his rich, pompous assholeness that lives in fucking Greenwich. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Okay, well, there we go.
Maybe he's a listener.
What grinds our gears.
That's okay. It's fine.
Segment.
I don't care if he's a listener or not. In fact, Kevin, if you're listening, Mr. CT Beer, stop listening. I don't want you to be part of this anymore.
What if he's a patron?
Don't give a shit.
I feel like slowly but surely Connecticut is amassing like a every villain is lemons kind of style group. You have CT Beer Tom guy, not Tom, CT Beer, Mr. CT Beer, that's it. And then you also have the owner of that brewery that everybody hates now.
That's another thing. During that whole like sexual harassment thing,
yeah,
Kevin said, because apparently he owns the Facebook group. He said that you could not make any disparaging remarks about anybody in the state from like the brewery perspective. So anybody who was like trying to Me Too, he was deleting those posts.
See, there you go.
Basically
and
protecting sexual harassment people, sexual harassers.
Yeah, so go on Facebook, follow our page. We have a page, right? Drinking Alone with Friends.
We do have a page.
Yeah, go follow there instead.
Yep, and you can join Beer Drinkers of Connecticut as well.
The new premier drinking page for Connecticut beer drinkers.
Exactly.
Drinking Alone with Friends.
The group is already up to like 1,000 people. So it's slowly happening, but it's only been up for 3 days at the time of this recording. So they're getting there.
Well, I need to earn my keep in this new CT beer drinkers group, and since I took a month off, I'm afraid I'm going to get kicked out. So I'm gonna get shadow banned. So I think I'm going to kick it off this week.
All right.
Go ahead.
With my first beer on the podcast in a month. It's been forever. And I'm actually pretty excited about this one. I took it out a little bit ago. I bought this, I feel like, forever ago. And I loved it because of the name. And it just sounds delicious. So I have from Magnify Brewing, which is made in New Jersey. If you give a moose a banana nut muffin stout. So
I think I've heard of Magnify.
Maybe. I don't know. I had not. I think I saw this I got this at Total Wine last time I went, which has been a while now. So I've been holding on to it for a little while. But I like it. Obviously, if you have been a child before, you've probably heard the If You Give a Moose a Muffin book, or you've read the If You Give a Moose a Muffin book. So playing off of that, but this is the banana nut muffin stout.
Is it the same If You Give the Moose a Cookie book?
That's a mouse. I think a mouse a cookie.
Oh, okay.
If you give, that's the smaller version of the book. No, I don't know, but
I knew there was one about a cookie.
There's a book about giving animals food. Okay.
I think there's at least two. We're learning.
Yeah. But this is brewed with banana, lactose, pecan, cinnamon, and vanilla. So
Any muffin?
No, surprisingly not.
No muffin on the ingredients.
No
How
muffin.
can you give a
listed.
moose a muffin in a stout if you don't put a muffin in the stout?
Magnify. These are the questions that the CT Beer Alliance of Drinkers is doing.
Yeah, the hard-hitting investigation
It's true.
over there.
Ooh, smells good. Smells good. Ooh, does smell good. Okay. Get this pour going. I missed beer when I was very, very fizzy. A lot of fizzes. A lot of carbonation on this. I don't think.
You're sober Febtober. You were pining for beer.
I mean, like, I definitely was like, oh, I miss it. We're so ingrained in what beer is and all that stuff. I don't know, just a part of me. Miss it. Probably for the worse. But there it is. It fizzed all of the head away. All the head's gone. It's all gone.
It looked like a very effervescent head.
It looks like a Coca-Cola now.
It does. Mm-hmm. It looks exactly like maybe a semi-flat Coke. I'm not gonna lie, I got more smells in the can than I am getting it off the glass right now. And most of what I smell is the cinnamon and the vanilla. So I get some sweetness and some of that cinnamon flavor. Dark as night, 1 billion SRM. So, I mean, I'll do it for the sake of the podcast. Because who knows? Yep, you are not seeing anything. Ooh, there's a lot of floaties in this. Oh no! That made it... You guys will not be able to see this, obviously, but... There's so much sediment in this.
All the banana and the nut is floating around in there, just having a party.
God.
See, aren't you glad that we had to do this? Now you know what you're about to drink.
I feel like I need to try and send you guys as good a picture as I can take with a flash on my phone. Hold on, let's see if this works at all. That actually worked better than I thought it was going to. I'm dropping it in the Discord.
Okay, gotta see all these floaties. It's got to be a lot if it that. Oh wow, that is a lot.
I wasn't lying.
Whoa.
There was a lot of floaties.
It looks like you have glitter in your beer.
Yeah, and I would have never seen it had we not tested for Tyrannosaurus Rex.
You hear that, folks?
That's why we do it. That's why we do it.
All right. So here we go. I'm not afraid. I ain't afraid of no floats. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this thing a try. All right. Okay. All right. There it is. It took me a while. So it's pretty good. Definitely very, very strong vanilla and very strong on the cinnamon. Almost to the point where the banana is very hard to pick up. It's like light notes of banana underneath. Pecans.
Is it too cold?
No. So that's one thing that's good question, Todd. I took it out way before we started recording, and then so it's actually like good drinking temps right now. So. But it's very strong on the vanilla. Get hit with that pretty hard. Get hit with the cinnamon. The banana is definitely underlying flavors, which I thought it would be more prominent. So that's a little bit of a downside on it. But let me see.
But banana muffins aren't typically like very banana flavored, you know?
That's very true. And actually, the last sip I just took, a little bit more banana. Might be one of those building things. Like the more you drink, the more you...
Well, did you and I don't see a spoon, but did you try mixing the floaties?
No.
See if the floaties taste like banana.
I did not. I did not try mixing the floaties. I didn't.
Well, it sounds like they're already kind of suspended in there.
Yeah.
Can you spoon some out and like taste the floaties?
I'm afraid it's like curdled lactose.
No, as we know, it's protein. If you see floaties in your beer, it's usually protein.
Yeah, no, I'm not super worried about it. So last couple sips, I have gotten a little bit more of the banana, so it's coming through okay. Very flavorful, like very, very big flavor. And relatively smooth. I was a little worried because it carbonized so very much at the beginning and then went immediately still. So I was like, I have no idea where this is gonna go, but relatively smooth. A little bit of a bite on the back end of it, but it's pretty good. I don't know what I was expecting. I get no pecans, so for all you pecan lovers out there, sorry.
Maybe those are the little floaties. Maybe they're chunks of like pecans.
But yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Not my it's probably not my favorite lactosey big stout like this, but it's solid. It's a solid beer. It's a solid 3.75. It's good, but I can't imagine it would have been better if I had it closer to the can date, which was in December, so it's not even really that old.
Yeah, for a stout, that's
Yes.
It's like brand new.
basically canned yesterday.
Yeah.
So, if you had to guess out of 527 check-ins, what do you think the world thinks of this beer?
This is tough because I don't know much about Magnify Brewing. I can't say I've had a ton of beers from New Jersey in general. I feel like that's just a state I don't have a ton of. Wait, is Trogs? Trogs is New Jersey or Pennsylvania? Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Gotcha. All right, so not that. I was trying to think of like a brewery I know from New Jersey. I'm sure there is one. I just can't think of one right now. I don't think it's gonna break 4. I don't think it's gonna break 4. To me, it's not that good. It's probably a little higher than what I gave it. I'm gonna go.
I think the name's got to bump up the rating a little bit.
The name is very good. The name is very good. I can see. Then again, I can see people liking this. It's sweet. It does have some sweetness factor, and people like the sweetness. I'm gonna stick with my gut though. I'm gonna say it's a 3.93 on Untapped.
So, if you would have just stuck with your guess, you would have been 100% correct.
Oh no!
375.
Damn.
Oh wow! That's a lot lower.
Yeah, that's a lot lower. I mean, I can't disagree with their ratings. It's exactly
Obviously, yeah. You are a man of the people, but
I am the people.
Not in the way of guessing. Yeah.
So, when we were looking at the top breweries, top East Coast breweries, what did we put down for New Jersey?
Just skipped it. I don't.
Part of our thing is we had to have a representative from every state, right? So,
I do not remember.
Well, I think we said that basically every state made it to the playoffs, so to speak, and we might have had not everyone represented on our top 25. But anyway, continuing with, I guess, concluding our New Jersey discussion, sounds like this beer was just a solid 3.75, which is pretty okay for New Jersey.
Yes.
That's actually doing really well by New Jersey standards.
In conclusion.
Yeah. It's got to be the water.
All right.
Listen, every time you drive into the state, it smells like garbage. Can't say much about that water.
Right. Oh, it's what's bringing all their beers down to 3.75s. Brew with what you got, you know?
That's all you can do sometimes.
You can buy bottled water in New Jersey. Just an FYI, you can buy Poland Springs.
Then it would be technically a Maine beer, I think. Well, Todd, what do you got for us this week?
Yeah, so this week I have a stout to drink by Barreled Souls, but in collaboration with Southern Grist.
Oh, I'm jealous. Immediate jealousy.
So I thought back to our controversy of the last episode where I kind of explained the Barreled Souls, waxing problem. And I brought a beer. This beer does not have a wax, but I wanted to at least, if I'm going to shit talk the brewery, I might as well at least drink one of their beers. So this is called Tame the Wild Cosmos. It was bottled on September 26th, 2022, so Obert's birthday.
Oh, yep.
Comes in at 3.7% ABV, and it is an imperial stout with salted caramel, cashews, cheesecake, and cacao nibs.
Wait.
Whoa.
Did you say 3.7?
13.7.
That makes a lot more sense. I was like, that does not seem correct.
But yeah, so it comes in the standard Barreled Souls bottle. Like I said, unwaxed. So I'm not offended by any sniffs for all you wax haters out there. Even though I was never offended by the sniff to begin with. Happy birthday to Obert when I drink this beer.
Yeah, maybe I'll just mentally enjoy it with you. Just through the Wi-Fi connection, I'll be able to taste the beer.
Can I mentally enjoy your birthday beer too?
I think so. I don't think you have as strong a connection because it wasn't brewed on your birthday. Damn it. But you could try.
I really wanted to try
make it a little harder. Yeah.
I mean, technically, it wasn't brewed on your birthday either. It was bottled on your birthday.
Well, there's one date on the bottle that it's my birthday. So
maybe it was brewed on my birthday.
Maybe.
And maybe the cheesecake went in on my birthday.
There you go.
There we go.
So, in true Barreled Souls fashion, very similar to the Magnify beer, by the way. The head quickly dissipated and kind of leaving it look like a flat Coke. I'm really happy with this mug because it holds a whole Barreled Souls beer without having to leave some in the glass.
Yeah, that's got to be what, like a 30-ounce mug?
So the bottle's 1.9 ounces.
Oh, okay. So it's just a regular big old mug.
Yeah, it's just a big old mug. Has the 12% symbol on it. I got it at their Oktoberfest this year. The light test, you get no light through it, and I don't see any floaties.
Well, there you go.
It looks like chocolate milk. Like, that's the way I can describe it. Is it's when it has light on it, it looks very much like a dark chocolate milk.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like chocolate milk, but they forgot the milk.
No, this looks. I don't know. Here, I guess we got to send the picture.
It looks not milky at all.
No.
Oh no, it's
the webcam.
It looks like a billion SRM.
Yeah. Oh, just got it. Okay. Yeah, I could see it. If Yoo-Hoo made like a 90% dark chocolate version.
Yeah, it's like Yoo-Hoo colored. There you go. Very milky. It's got to be from the cheesecake. But enough talking about it. Time to drink it. Ooh, this is a thick boy. This tastes like the thickness tastes like chocolate milk. Like, it's very thick. I think that's the role the cheesecake is playing here. Surprisingly, you don't taste a lot of the cheesecake, which, I guess they're probably not using New York style cheesecake. They're probably using Maine style cheesecake or Tennessee style cheesecake. So maybe it's just not as forward.
Never heard of Maine cheesecake before.
Me neither. That's why I'm assuming.
Oh,
I gotcha.
You get a lot of the cacao, like the dark chocolate flavor on this, which I think the cashews blend very well with. And then the salted caramel, it is a little salty, but I don't taste any caramel. The cacao is really the overpowering flavor here, with kind of the saltiness kind of being a close second.
How about that 13%? How's that coming through?
Standard Barrel Souls style, I don't really taste the high ABV. It's hidden by the sweetness of the beer, which is standard for them. So, while it's, as we know, a good indication of being a high ABV beer is the more sweetness you have, the higher ABV it probably is. And this is pretty sweet. I will say that the salted caramel and the cashews kind of do enough to, like, numb the sweetness a little bit for the aftertaste. I'm not overall a fan, usually a fan of cashews in beer. It's not my favorite nut inside of a beer, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I can't say it's one I see very often either.
Right. Yeah, that's my comment too.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of cashew, alone.
I like the nut.
Yeah, probably my favorite nut.
It's a good one. I think I'm up there. It's fair to say it's my favorite nut too.
Wow, just nutty about cashews.
But I wouldn't say that it's my favorite within a beer. I really like peanuts in beers. I just feel like the peanut flavor or the peanut butter flavor is good in beer. Cashews, But this is probably the best cashew beer I've had, if you want to qualify it by nuts.
Okay.
Overall, really, really good. Exactly what you expect from Barreled Souls. No burning flavor from the alcohol at all. I should point out this is bottle 120 out of 1,440. So going back to Obert's point, because they number their bottles, they easily could do half of the batch with wax and half of the batch without wax. But this one they didn't. This one wasn't barrel aged, so it didn't get any wax at all. So they don't wax their non-barrel aged beers.
Got it.
Really, really good beer. I'm gonna give it a 4.25. Very good. Lots of cacao flavor. Two great breweries coming together to make a really cool beer. I think personally the beer that they did in 2021 with Southern Grist was better. That one was the Cinnamon Toast Crunch beer, which I think I drank on the podcast as well, and that was incredible. I think I gave that one a 4.75. This one's good, but it's not that good. So maybe if I was giving Southern Grist and Barreled Souls some insight, and if they wanted to listen, I would say stick to cereal flavored stouts.
Got you.
Now, is 4.25 pretty typical for Barreled Souls for your rating?
Yeah, I would say that's probably
what you give them most
standard rating for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
from you.
Yeah, that sounds.
I think from most people, but yeah, from me in particular.
Yeah, that's good. The occasional 4.5, occasional 4.0, but you're usually in that 4.25 range.
Yeah, when it comes to their stouts, I should point out that I'm not a big fan of their IPAs.
Now, as a society member, do you get their IPAs much or no?
Unless I'm when I'm in the tap room, I can get them, or I can buy cans and I get discounts and all that. But we never buy them. You can't buy them on through the society membership.
Okay. Yeah, because it's specifically a stout membership, right?
It is specifically a stout membership, and on top of that, it's a stout bottle membership.
Oh.
So if they can it, you don't get it. Now, very rarely do they can stouts, so I usually get most of their stouts, but they can all their IPAs, they can all their sours. My wife is a big fan of their sours. She really likes the way they do their sours. I think that they tend to be a little sweet, like really sweet, where after drinking 3 or 4 taproom stouts, I don't want to turn around and drink a really sour pastry sour. It's just not. It just doesn't blend very well. If it was like more like an OEC dry sour, I could get down with that.
Very good. You want me to pull it up? Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, I have it here on Untapped. Tame the Wild Cosmos 2022 version. Collaboration between Barreled Souls and Southern Grist. 215 check-ins.
That's pretty low.
It's low.
Pretty low. But you saw you only bought 120, so.
True. It's going to be pretty high because everything Barreled Souls is high. I think the average of Barreled Souls is like a 4.15. Like the brewery is well thought of.
Yeah.
So I'm going to assume this is a better than average beer by them. I'm going to go 1 point or 4.
1 point. Yep. Locked in.
Lock it in. Okay.
I'm going to say 4.31.
Okay, it's a little lower than that.
Ooh.
With a 4.17.
Ooh.
Oh, damn.
Still impressive rating.
Oh, did we tie? No.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
No. Yeah. Ted was off? You said 3-1, right?
Yeah.
So he's 0.14. My
Yep.
math is correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, on the board.
Damn it.
I'm surprised it's so low. Can you read me what if there's any comments, or do people just thought it was okay?
Barrel Souls is bringing down Southern Grist.
Well, I did want to say I didn't want to influence you when you were talking about Barrel Souls, but if you click on the brewery, their average is a 4.07.
Okay.
So a little bit lower.
I'll know that for next time.
Yeah, just to kind of feel where they're at, right? And I think it seems like from what I can tell that their bottled stouts are on the higher end of their list, and
It's what buoys their rating for sure.
Yeah, you can kind of see that as you go through. But a lot of the comments similar to what you said: aggressive, chocolatey, nutty finish, chocolate liqueur, mocha.
Ooh, I do get the chocolate liqueur. That's good feedback.
Good tasting.
Yeah,
notes
good
here.
descriptor. I got to add that to my tasting note sheet.
This person who gave it a 3.5 said, lots of flavors that needs to be tamed. Ha ha ha. Confusing mix of booze, chocolate, sweetness, and salted caramel. So I don't know what's confusing about that mix. Sounds pretty good to me.
I know. I was going to say that sounds
like they
delicious.
did not swish it in their mouth when they were drinking it.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Just people got thoughts.
Well, another good beer by them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Another good reason to keep that Bottle Society membership going, right?
Yeah, and they've, I don't think I've ever had a standard stout by them. Just like they brewed a stout, they shoved it in a barrel, and they left it there. But those stouts are incredible. I don't know how they capture the flavor of bourbon so well in their normal stouts with no adjuncts in it, but I don't know how they do it. It's impressive. You have to award them or applaud them. And I have to say, because I complain about it a lot, not a lot of the Barreled Souls fizz on this one. Like
I was wondering about that. It looked like it. It looked like the Pringles were in it.
Yeah, it didn't have a lot of the Pringles. So, this is a later 2022, so maybe they kind of adjusted their CO2 readouts, because I know that was a feedback from a lot of people was, they were like, why are your stouts, why are they so bubbly?
So bubbly.
Right.
Huh. So it wasn't just you that was giving them that feedback.
Right.
Maybe they're dialing it in.
Hey,
There you go.
that means they can only get better, which is scary.
All right, well, I think it's time. I'm going to grab my beer, folks.
All right.
So much for taking that out of the fridge early, huh?
You know what? I was going to do it right when you started your review, and I was like, I don't want to interrupt the flow. But as you'll see, I don't think it's one that really needs to be that warmed, and I can enjoy it as it warms up. But all right, so I have a beer from, I think, one of our, as a pod, collective favorite non-Connecticut breweries. Probably our favorite Asheville brewery, and that, of course, is Burial. This
You're
is
going
a
to get
beer
kicked out of the Connecticut beer drinkers group.
Yep.
No, you can post
Bam.
other beers. Just, don't be posting Modelo's from West Virginia. And
Well,
saying,
no,
what are you guys drinking
I mean,
today?
I wouldn't be banned from beer drinkers of CT, but Connecticut beer drinkers.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, they'd allow it, and they would but you wouldn't be allowed to comment on it.
Okay.
You have to buy stocks in the Facebook page.
Yep. You have to be a partial owner if you want to do anything there.
If anybody's heard of a Facebook group being sold, write in, by the way.
Yeah, it seems very shady, the whole situation. But anyway, back to the beer here. This is called Fall of the Rebel Angels. And it was a bottle that I purchased when we were there just about a year ago, going on a year ago. That's like time goes fast because it was June and it's March. So
it means we need to plan another trip.
It sounds like it. DolphCon 23 coming up.
Where are we going?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it after my beer review. This is a barrel-aged golden sour ale with Carolina chokeberries.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's a Carolina chokeberry?
I was going to ask Chris if he's had it before.
I've not heard of them. Let me see. Hold on. Actually, hold on. I'm digging into my extensive Southern knowledge.
Well, while he's reaching back in his brain, I wanted to share the bottle cap because I don't think I've ever seen or talked about Burial's bottle caps before. It's really cool. It's black, all black with silver farm implements that also could be used maybe to bury stuff. There's like a scythe and a pitchfork and an axe and stuff. Very on brand for Burial. I thought that was cool. I wish I had taken more care when I opened it because it's been a cool one to save.
I'm upset that the name of the beer isn't like 47 lines long.
Yeah, it's a little short for Burial, but it's a good name. Fall of the Rebel Angels.
At least you can remember that one. Unlike, the paragraphs they usually have where you're like, I don't know. I have no idea what I'm drinking right now.
Yeah. It's like if Chat GPT wrote the name of a beer or something.
Exactly. Maybe that's how they did it.
Maybe.
Right. So I've gotten into my Southern roots, and chokeberries are also known as, they come off an aronia, which is a deciduous shrub. Chokeberries are there's a sour berries or aronia berries. Can be eaten raw or off the bush, but are more frequently processed. They can be used to make wine, jam, syrup, juice, soft teas, soft spreads, teas, other fun stuff.
Maybe even beer.
Maybe even beer. But it sounds like they're sour, making your mouth pucker. And there's 3 different kinds: black, red, and purple chokeberries. So there you go.
And that's from www.south.us.
South Confederate /
South.csa.
Yeah.
I went ahead and poured it while you were digging deep in your South brain. And there's no way, I don't need a flashlight. I could do this podcast and stare at you through the glass.
Gotta shine the light.
That's how see-through it is. I'll do it if you want, Ted, but it's not gonna, it's how would you describe this? It's like Hawaiian Punch would be harder to see through than this just like pale pink liquid. But it definitely has that distinctive sour pucker that I think I've had it kind of reminds me of a Funkatorium smelling beer. It's just like you get that almost vinegar on the nose where it's just like you can feel it in your cheekbones already as soon as I crack the bottle cap off. Yeah, I miss the Funkatorium too. I don't miss the heartburn I get from the beers, but...
Oh, yeah. Or drinking it the next day after already being hungover and... Yeah.
Oh, man. That was terrible. I didn't mention this is 8% ABV, but...
Oh, okay. Not too bad.
Yeah. So I'm drinking this imagining it's a Funkatorium beer, but I'm going to just dive right in. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah. If you gave me this beer without a label, I would tell you that it came from Wicked Weed's Funkatorium.
Oh, wow.
That's what it tastes like. Lives up to all the things that I said it smells like. Very sour, very tart. Tastes like what I imagine the chokeberries must taste like.
Just to be clear, it's chokeberry, not chodeberry.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Man, what else is there to say about this beer? I mean, if you've had a beer like this, you know what I'm describing. If you haven't, go find one because it's definitely an experience worth having where it's like vinegar, but in a good way is a good way to describe it. Very, very sour, but leaves your palate kind of refreshed at the end. It doesn't cling to it being so see-through and stuff. There's not a lot of body on it. Not a typical Burial beer. One I would add to a flight board if I was there. but probably wouldn't want to mix it too much with their heavier stouts or crazy IPAs because it's like so all over the map.
But would it be good to break it up? Like if you were like, all right, I just had a really nice IPA. Let me drink the sour before I jump into, the Tame the Cosmos version that Burial Souls would put out.
Maybe, but it just seems like it's so far the other direction that your taste buds would just be like, I can't make this jump. It's just so crazy. It also feels weird drinking this beer on a cold Montana winter day and not a warm North Carolina afternoon out in the sun. But
I have to
it's kind of reminding me.
You're not oppressively hot, though, in Montana.
It's true. That's true. But this is the kind of beer that almost would be better if there was sweat coming off the glass. You know what I mean?
I do.
I still really enjoy it. I think it would be more expected across the street at the Funkatorium. But really good. I think I'm going to say, though, not what I go to Burial for. Still enjoy it a lot. Still going to get a 4 1/4 from me.
Okay.
And obviously there's a reason why I have this Burial still and not like any other IPAs. Those didn't last this long, right? There's a reason why the sour is the one I'm having on the podcast today.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know you mentioned it, but like they're sour, they're IPAs, they're stouts out of this world. They're sours. They're fine. They're good.
Yeah.
They're good. So.
Yeah. And I bought this one, looking at, they have whatever in their cooler, maybe 10 different bottles to choose from. Yeah. So I was like, oh, this would be a good one to have on the podcast, and it is, but it's, it's fine. It's a good sour. But if you're going to go and bring a sour back from Asheville, this probably wouldn't be the brewery to get it from.
Yeah, very fair. So assuming this is the 2022 version, because this one only has yearly divisions. I don't know if you want to verify.
I don't even know. Oh, I just see a little 1.9 on the inlaid in the glass, which I've never seen a beer dated that way before. I don't know if they have different labels for different years.
Oh, let me see.
What?
I wouldn't surprise me though if this was a little bit older than.
What is it? What is that? Whale tails? Like I'm trying to.
Those are angel wings.
Okay.
For the rebel angels that have descended into hell.
They all kind of look the same. I mean, luckily, they're all relatively close to one another. So
okay. Well, yeah, we'll just assume it's the first one that you pulled up there, whatever it was, the 2022.
We'll do the 2022 if you can find evidence otherwise.
Proof. Yeah.
So 294 check-ins for the 2022.
Oh, it's tough because I feel like they have again some of that the hype from being Burial, but this isn't their jam. You know what I mean? I just think it's going to be low for them, which I think is still above a 4. So I'm leaning in like a 4.09.
Very, very, very good guess. Very good guess. 4.02. 4.02.
Okay.
So you were right there.
I was right, above a 4, but low for them.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like, and every single one is between, like, there's 5 years listed on here, and they're between a 4.01 and the highest is a 4.09. So
okay. Well, now that I've got my official guess locked in, I'm gonna see if I can look at the labels and see if I can really determine. I did see another 1.9 on the bottom of the bottle too, but it's inlaid in the glass, which I've never seen.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense that would be the date, I guess, maybe.
Well,
yeah, it is. Oh, no, I thought I was going to say the label is the 20. Yeah, they all have the same label.
Yeah.
Oh, but it says the year above. Oh, it doesn't. Never mind.
But as long as you don't have a 2021 bottle, you got it wrong.
Does your bottle say anywhere that's 2021?
If it's a 2021, you got it right. It's going to be super anticlimactic at this point.
I know, right? No, it is 8%. And that's how you can tell the difference is the different years had different ABVs. But 21 does not have 8%. It is 7%.
Oh, so. Actually, that's a good point. I didn't even notice that I also don't see an 8% anywhere. So
I don't either. Yeah, I see 6.5, 5, 7.
So you have the only bottle in existence.
I guess so.
Go back even further.
I went back to the 2018, which seems to be the first one.
Oh.
So who knows? Not important.
No.
But okay. Before we go to handles, it is that time of year where we dust off the red carpet, the miles and miles long red carpet.
Yep.
This year it's the Chiefs that have to push it out.
The Chiefs are taking it out of storage. We have to, pulling it out with a forklift to start unrolling it for the many miles it's going to take to get to the place they have the Mr. Oscars, which I don't think we ever said for security reasons where, but.
I think we definitely held it in, I think, Florida once or
Yeah.
California. We're still working.
There's a lot of Mr. Oscar lore out there.
Yeah.
That we need a historian of the pod to really.
I think Mexico City
consolidate
is
in one
this year.
spot.
It seems like a good location.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the international crowd.
I could go to Mexico. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Kansas City to Mexico City seems like two cities connecting each other via red carpet.
Mm-hmm.
We're really
and
connecting
Han Solos.
brands here. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully when you're listening to this, we will be posting the voting tickets. What do you vote on? Ballots. Thank you.
There you go.
The things you vote on Discord.
Hanging chads.
Yeah, we'll be emailing the chads to our patrons for them to vote as well. Or no, we don't email it. We just post it on the Patreon and you can download it, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we get a vote, the Discord gets a vote, and the patrons get a vote. So, and our patrons get the same weight as us, I think, is how our voting algorithm works.
Yep.
So we got a lot of good categories, presumably.
Allegedly.
Like best episode, best title,
Yep.
Best beer, best brewery. These are we always have those ones. So it's I think I hear from a lot of people it's their favorite episode of the year. I've heard from other people it's the hardest episode of the year to edit. So it's fun. It's well worth it to bring it to our fans. So
Yep.
please join in the fun by heading over to Discord and Patreon. And if you're not a patron, it's not too late to sign up and vote. You could just sign up for 1 month and then cancel.
$1
won't blame you.
Makes you holler.
just to get that vote in. So check it out, and then we will be having the results hopefully for you next episode. So stay tuned in that feed. But I'm gonna go over to our Frosty Mug of Wisdom, unless you guys have other Oscar
Facebook
lore that you need to
controversies?
get out there. Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out anything else that I'm angry about.
yeah. How else has the world wronged you recently, Ted?
I haven't really left my house a lot recently, so not a lot in the world has wronged me, which I
You had
appreciate.
snow. We didn't get to the weather's different in different places.
Had snow.
Apparently, but-
I'm really not a. You know what? That's a good one. Weather. Fuck you. We made it all the way to March with no snow, and then as soon as March rolls around, snow. It's just I don't like it. I don't like it. That means that the winter, or the seasons seem to be moving, folks. In case you haven't noticed.
Well, yeah, it's because we got the extra hour of day now.
That means that June's going to be...
change daylight saving time to 25-hour days.
June's going to be May, and May's going to be April, and August is July, and September is August. I don't like it. I think we should leap forward a month. No, fall back a month, just to make sure that the world is on pace.
Yeah, I'm ready for March too. I don't know about you guys. Chris gets 2 birthdays.
2 birthdays. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Except,
Okay.
Oh, also, happy birthday to the March birthdays, Chris. Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Happy birthday,
Thank
Kiwi.
you. Yeah, our friend Kiwi just turned undisclosed age.
And happy birthday to all the listeners and patrons whose birthdays are in March. Happy birthday.
There's a lot of March babies out there.
Does that mean you're 4th of July babies?
That's when.
I think that'd be when you were conceived.
Yeah, I guess so. People just love freedom.
Just add that onto the podcast right here. All you March babies, you guys were all conceived on a drunken night on the 4th of July.
Yeah, I don't want to dox Chris, but I did think it was weird that ever since I knew you that your name was Chris America, but now it makes sense. Now I know what the A stands for.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, well with that, it's time. Jordan, take it away.
Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle. Mug of Wisdom!
drink.
Mug of wisdom.
All right. Thank you, Jordan. As always, Wreck My Podcast, rest in peace. Go to YouTube.
By the way, Chris's name, Chris Beer Dad America, is ABC backwards. It's pretty cool.
That is very, very true.
Yeah, I thought you were capitalizing the D in dad to make it but the D doesn't fit.
No.
But it's one word. It's a conjunction? No. Compound.
Maybe if it was
Compound
Daddy
word. Compound
Chris
word.
Beer America.
Daddy Chris Beer.
Yeah.
I mean, he does go by Dad in other walks of life, so kinda. Your name is
Multiple,
ABCD
actually.
backwards.
There we go.
Most excellent. Dad Chris Beer America. But speaking of excellent, that's me this week. Man of the people on the board. Hard-earned tally. It was a well-fought game, but I think big man upstairs. Yada yada.
Oh man, Johnson.
I live upstairs from you.
Yeah, my upstairs neighbor is the one who whispers the actual untapped score in my ear so I can cheat. and
He's
get
just
the-
a very large man.
He hangs out in my attic. I feed him beer. Don't worry about it. 26 points.
Damn.
I have not
Catching
gotten a
up.
tally in a while.
Yeah.
I'm on a cold streak. I'm very ice cold at the moment.
I feel like
And Jason's on the board too. So
that is true. Yes. Jason got a tally mark.
Very poorly. His initials are not blocks.
I ran out of time as we were starting the call. I was like had to add him to the leaderboard. But okay. Anyway, it's time. Fill it up. Wisdom. Take it out of the freezer. Stuff you like. Stuff you love. Amazon products, etc. Todd, kick it off for us.
Sure. So my handle this week is going to be, you know what? Obert's done pizza making, so I'm going to do bread making because recently I've gotten into making bread. Sourdough bread in particular.
Okay. I got questions about this. I want to hear what you got, your thoughts, and then I got questions.
So I tried it during the pandemic and sucked at it. My yeast died, couldn't do it. Don't know. Maybe I was just dumber then, and I've gotten smarter in 3 years. But recently, I said...
Bread's gotten easier, maybe.
Maybe. Recently, I said, you know what? I'm going to try this. So I did. I finally made some sourdough starter, and I baked some sourdough bread, and it came out excellent. So what I want to share is how to make sourdough starter. I think that's probably the best handle I can give. We can do further. I can do further handles on how to make the bread later, but I think before you can make sourdough, you have to make the starter. And this.
But now, before you tell me how to make sourdough starter,
Yes.
Can you just get some sourdough starter from somebody else who already has one?
You could. I just wanted to make my own.
Okay.
Hey, more power to you if you know somebody who has some too.
I got a friend who just started making their own bread, so maybe I'll hit them up for some sourdough.
I don't
starter.
think it ships through the mail very easily, but we could try it. But to make your own sourdough starter, it is insanely, stupidly easy, and which is another baffling thing about why me in 2020 couldn't figure it out. You take 100 grams of flour. Personally, from what I read, you want to do a mix of flour with some of it being whole wheat or whole rye. So what I did was I used whole rye. So I used 50 grams of whole rye and 50 grams of all-purpose flour. And then I took 100 grams, weighted grams, of lukewarm water, slightly warmer than room temperature. You want it around 80 degrees, 70 degrees. Pour that in, mix it up. Put a cap on it loosely. Do not tighten the cap. Just kind of leave it open to the air, but we have an animal, so I don't want him eating my sourdough starter, so I kind of put a cap softly on top of it. Chris, with his 1,800 cats, leave the cap somewhat off, or kids. That's another thing. You don't want kids sticking their fingers in it. But you want it to be able to breathe. And I think this is where I kind of screwed up in COVID, is I had the cap on tight. So loosely place a cap or put a cloth over it or some type of way to keep stuff out, but also to keep air in and keep air going in and out. Leave it on the counter, and the next day you come back, scoop out most of the starter and throw it away or save it, and we'll get into that in a second, what you can do with it if you save it. But leave about 50 grams of the mixture in there. Add another 100 flour, add another 100 water, mix, leave it on the counter. And you want to do this for about 3 to 7 days until you'll see the starter grow, and it will shrink and grow, and it will shrink. And then after it's alive, you can then put it in the fridge. and then you only have to feed it once a week. So during that time, you've collected all this waste, we'll call it, of starter. What you can do, heat up a pan, take the starter, make a pancake out of it. Tastes like a pancake, is a pancake, it's delicious. You can season it with, vanilla if you want a breakfast pancake, season it with like chives and garlic if you want a lunch or a dinner pancake. But you can cook it that way, and that way you're not wasting flour and water. And it tastes a little bit different because it is slightly sour because it's sourdough starter that you're using. But it's essentially sourdough bread that you're making in a jar. And then from there, when you're ready to cook, you use half of the starter and then you feed the rest of it and put it back in the fridge or on the counter and let it start growing again. I've read a ton of stuff about how you can store this stuff. Seems like the fridge is the easiest. You could also throw it in the freezer, I guess, if you wanted to do that and bring it back to life over the course of a couple days when you need it. But that's how you make a super simple sourdough starter. I think the key is the different types of flours, not flours like the thing that grows out of the ground, but flour as in the processed wheat that you would use to do it. And you also need to make sure there's airflow. Don't use an airtight ball container. Don't use an airtight mason jar. Don't use an airtight Tupperware container. Airflow is your friend.
So the biggest reason I haven't gotten into this is because I feel like there's a lot of waste. I feel like you have a lot you got to throw away, and now like you have this starter, you got to keep feeding it, right? Like every day, every week.
Every week. That's why I looked up what you do with the starter that you throw away. Because I, like you, Ober, at first was a little bothered by I have all this stuff that I'm just throwing away. And somebody mentioned just pour it in a hot pan and just cook it like a pancake and just eat it.
Yeah.
And
I've had sourdough pancakes before, and they are good.
I'll tell you this: I've had one. I had one every day while I was doing the process, and now I've had one. It's turned into once a week, and I look forward to that sourdough pancake. It's delicious.
Nice, and the bread comes out good.
The bread,
it's better, as good as buying a sourdough loaf from the store. Or
better,
what?
I would say that think of a national chain bakery, so Panera or Au Bon Pan. I guess those are national bakeries, right? Or bakery chains. Better than my sourdough bread came out better than Panera.
Nice.
Was it the best sourdough in the world? No, but I'm getting better. I've made 2 loaves so far, and second one came out better than the first one. First one was still ate the shit out of the first one, ate the shit out of the second one. Guess what? When I make the third one, bet you I'm going to eat the hell out of that one too. So that it's not bad bread. It's just not. I personally like super sour sourdough bread, so I'm trying to figure out how to do that too. And
get a little funkier.
Yeah, I'll revert back, but it's something about having drier yeast and also leaving it out before you brown it. I'm working on this, so.
Just pour some sour beer into it and then just see what happens.
Ooh, there you go.
I did actually look up if I could use sourdough starter to like put it in a beer for like yeast. Nobody's done it. So
I'm sure there's a reason why. Bread and beer have been around for like 9,000 years. You'd think somebody would have tried that by now.
I will report back.
I guess the beauty is you can grow it and then split it, right? You can just add more to it and then so you could try to do couple different things.
Yeah,
right?
and as long as you keep at least a little bit of your starter, you can make as much bread as you want. I mean, you can regrow all the bread yeast in a day, as long as you maintain a little bit of that starter. I was reading some articles out there where there are people in Ireland that have 1,000-year-old sourdough starters. There are people in Alaska that have sourdough starters that their family emigrated to the country with. Like, wild stuff. So this stuff will last forever if you take care of it. And there's, I've been reading some articles about you don't really have to take care of it either. If you really just once you have like the wet sourdough starter, if you just dump a whole bunch of dry flour on top of it, you can let it sit for weeks without thinking about it. So
it's easier, I guess, easier than I first thought. So maybe it's worth trying.
Yeah, I think the key is air. You got to make sure you don't put it in an airtight container. Unless you're putting it like in the fridge, put the airtight container on it because you're not trying to grow yeast. You're kind of just trying to get it to be dormant. But if you're trying to grow it on your counter, airflow is your friend. So with that,
okay.
That's my handle.
Very good. I like that. I don't know what to put in the show notes. Maybe you'll find a link of one of your most inspirational articles.
We'll put a link of how to make sourdough starter by one of the people that I copied into the show notes. I watched a crisp amount of YouTube videos on how to make sourdough starter before I did it.
Nice. Okay, I got to follow up to that handle then. I'm gonna take this Frosty mug over. And I was in California a couple weeks ago with my friends Zephy and Lindsay, and for Chinese New Year we made dumplings. And I had never made dumplings before, and it is a lot of work, but it was the best dumpling I've ever eaten. I was like, I gotta do this. So then I got home, back to Montana, made them myself, and they were amazing. I followed a couple different recipes. The one I found the most useful, I'll put a link in the show notes too, but basically it's just raw ground pork sausage, or like just ground pork with like 20% fat, shredded cabbage and some onion and ginger. You buy the wrappers pre-made. You can roll them out yourself, but if you're just starting it, find the wrappers in the freezer section. It's not that hard to fill them and make them. I never really made pierogies or ravioli or anything like that, but it was a lot of fun to make. I made more than I needed, and they froze really well, and I cooked the frozen batch. From there, you just put it in a pan, get it crispy on the bottom, and then you put some water in, close the lid, let it steam. And it was like the best homemade Chinese food I've ever had. It was so good. I was like, I can't wait to do this again. I had to go to a Asian market to find the wrappers, but if you live somewhere a little bit more multicultural than Montana, you might be able to find them in your local store. I don't know. Really a lot of fun, amazing food. And I recommend you try it, or at least watch the YouTube video, Next Shower, in the link I'll put in the show notes with the recipe. The video was good. I don't know, it depends if you're a video person or a recipe reader, but I'll put both in the show notes for you.
Sounds good.
Have either of you made dumplings or like other stuffed type foods before?
No.
I've made raviolis once.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna make it a handle, but then when you were talking about the sourdough, I was like, sounds a lot like what I did, which is it's a lot of work, but the end result, it's really worth it. If you're looking to have a fun food project on a weekend or something like that, this is a good one to try out. But all right, that leaves Chris with this third handle on this Frosty mug. What do you got?
All right. It's everybody's favorite part of the episode where I say something that's really only specifically for one specific type of person, and that's not most of the people that listen. So
that's just you.
just me and anybody else who does Twitch streams. So
okay.
I recently purchased a new piece of hardware for my Twitch stream that I've been playing around with a lot, and it's a lot of fun. And it is an HDMI Multiviewer. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before, but essentially what you can do is you can put multiple HDMI inputs into one input to display up to 4 screens at once. So
on your stream.
Okay.
On my stream, yes.
Because I've seen on your stream you'd be playing 2 Pokemon games at the same time.
Right.
And I didn't think about the magic of what it takes to make that happen.
So actually, unless you've seen it more recently, like within the last couple weeks, that's what this has been. So because in order to stream, you need a capture card. They're expensive. They take up an HDMI port. It's the whole thing. So if this multi-viewer allows you to utilize one singular capture card and hook up to 4 devices to it, it's pretty cool. I got the idea off of, obviously, a YouTube video. So I could hook up to 4 switches or 2 switches and 2 PS5s if I wanted to the same capture card and display them on my stream. That being said, if you wanted to, you could use it to hook Tud. I know you were talking earlier about not having enough screens. You could put TV on one and put the Switch on another and like do a picture-in-picture kind of thing. So
that's pretty cool.
So it's pretty neat. Again, it's one of those niche things that you may or may not ever need. But it was. I think the one I bought was like $80, not too terribly expensive. It works pretty well, I guess.
Yeah, now your kids will never fight over the TV again.
That's right. Be like, you get this screen, and I get this screen. So I get these bottom 2 screens. So it's pretty cool. I mean, I wish there were a few customizable options with it, but with the software that you use to stream, you can always doctor it up the way you want it to. But we'll drop a link in the show notes for, like I said, if you are the one other Twitch streamer out there that listens to the podcast that wants to add a second screen to your stream, you could go ahead and check it out. And I thought it's pretty cool. I enjoy it. I like playing around with it. So check it out. Get yourself an HDMI Multiviewer.
With that, we'd like to thank you all for listening. First, we'd like to thank the breweries who provided today's beers. I will thank Barreled Souls and, of course, Southern Grist for their Tame the Wild Cosmos.
I would like to thank Magnify Brewing for their If You Give a Moose a Banana Nut Muffin Stout.
And I would like to thank dear old friend of the podcast, Burial, for their Fall of the Rebel Angels, too short of a beer name for Burial.
Please make sure you head over to social media and follow us everywhere at DAWF Podcast. Also, make sure you hashtag follow the email at dawfpodcast@gmail.com. Head over to Patreon. That's important to join, especially for this episode, so you can go vote for Mr. Oscar 2023 nominations over the next 2 weeks. So go do that right now as you hear my voice. If you say, hey, that's not really my speed, that's fine. Head over to Discord and join us over there for the discourse. And you can also get a vote over there. So patrons, if you're hearing the sound of my voice, you can get 2 votes. You can vote on Patreon. You can also vote on Discord. Discorders, if you ever thought about wanting to be a patron, this is the month to do it. Subscribe for 1 month and leave. Doesn't offend us. That's fine. And finally, let's just say, I'm not hip with the hop, and I don't like technology, and I don't want to be a patron, and I really just like listening to your free episodes on your favorite podcasting app. Well, then head over to your favorite podcasting app and leave us a 5-star rating or a review, and a review. And make sure you tell your friends and your family about this podcast, because word of mouth is also a great way to spread this podcast. And with that, over that horrible outro, my name's Ty.
You got there, though. You got there.
Listen, I'm usually quick. That was rough.
My name's Chris.
And I'm Obert. And remember, if you're drinking alone, do it with friends.
Whew.
Yeah, you ready for bed after that 14% ABV beer?
I feel like I just got punched in the face.
Or maybe you will be a slice of cheesecake to wash it down.
I don't know. You can tell over the past 5 weeks I have not woken up before 8 a.m.
Yeah, you're feeling it now. I have plenty of this sour left to drink, so it's going to be a late night for me.
Oh, boy.
Well, it's still only like 9 o'clock. It's a whole 2 hours ago. I was peppy 2 hours ago.
Now you're fading fast.